trust and almost like maybe a bit more of a like peer thing of, oh, like we are both like, okay, we can all be dumpling makers.
Yes.
We're not like dumpling makers
Exactly.
and unable to make dumpling makers.
Yeah. I like how you framed it as, oh, maybe the parents don't want to burden us with a task of making dumplings because this is work and we don't want you to be burdened by work. Yeah, that's, I think, a different way to look at it than, oh, we think you're incapable of making dumplings.
Totally. And I guess I don't know what's going on inside your parents' head.
Who knows?
But I could imagine that that's a possibility of it.
Yeah, who knows?
That would be one rooted in like in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also wanted to call out like that and celebrate, just because it's something that's hard for me, and I think it's generally hard, is just like setting boundaries. Like just being able to say, okay, Dad, I'm not going to have this conversation. Being able to say, go into the basement and do your it's yeah, in my experience, interacting with my family can be overwhelming, and to take that space, I'd never done that before until this last time in Taiwan.
Right, yeah,
So,
you're just like, I'm present to everyone and everything all the time.
Yeah. And I made up for that by just like being away most of the time.
Yeah.
To be in the moment, to be able to recognize, hey, this is where I'm at, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Love you, but I'm...
Yeah, it's again, easier said than done. I tried to set a boundary with my dad in a conversation, and I had to say 6 times to him, Dad, I need to stop having this conversation now. I need to go to bed now. I have nothing to say. I'm too tired. And it still didn't end until he wanted it to end, but I was able to guide it a bit more towards like wrapping up instead of going on until he's also exhausted.
And it's so hard, especially with parents, like where there's this kind of implicit like power dynamic.
Yes, yeah, where they're like, we have something to tell you.
Yeah.
And you must listen, like this transmission mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And the being able to set boundaries and have them be honored is so foundational, I think, in like partner, like peer, like relation.
Yeah, and I thought about this also a lot, about how the concept of boundaries is also like pretty Western.
Yeah.
As many psychological frameworks are inherently Western. And I'm thinking about this thing that my psychiatrist friend Julian was speaking about, which is, it is like the nature of collectivist societies to be enmeshed with each other, like to have relationships that are really, by Western standards, like boundaryless somehow. If you feel something, I feel something. And I guess I want to just slightly challenge this notion of, I set a boundary and you must respect my boundary, because it doesn't work that way. Not just with Asian families, but like with other cultures and stuff. So it's just because basically when you set a boundary, it's a bit like saying, we are not connected in this way somehow in this moment. Not forever, but like in this moment I need the space. But I think, for Asian families it can be like, what? Like, you don't want to talk to me now? Are you saying that you don't want to be a part of me anymore? So I think it feels a lot more disturbing to that mode of being than to a Western person who says, I don't want to talk about this right now. I think this is, I remember when I was younger and I would have friends who would say things like, I don't want to talk about this now. You can say that?
What did you say to me?
Yeah, I'd like to be alone now. I'm like, what? Yeah, and you're not mad at me. Oh, I don't want to talk about more. That's personal.
Totally.
I want to be alone. I want to be alone now. Oh, you're not like terribly angry with me. You just need your space. Yeah.